Okay, today's video, we're going to be talking about ways that you can trick your brain into actually getting in your workout. You know, we all know, we've all struggled at times with actually going out there and taking care of business and doing what we need to do. Sometimes we have to trick ourselves. There's little psychological tricks we can do in order to make our workouts just that little bit easier, or at least get started. Because once we're started, everything kind of falls into place, right? So that's what we're talking about. Let's get into it. Oh guys, this is also the weekly running and training vlog, where the main purpose of this video is for you to tell me about your week of running. I want to hear about successes, and I definitely want to hear about those setbacks. Today's video came to me from my wife. She was reading the New York Times. She found this article. The article is titled, "For a Better Workout, Trick Your Brain." And I thought to myself, that sounds like something I'd like to talk to you guys about. So here we are. Oh, but if you've been watching these videos for a while, you know that we cover a lot of stuff. And a lot of this stuff for tricking your brain or becoming better at working out or actually being motivated to work out, a lot of it can get a little repetitive. So there are a couple of ways here that we have talked about in the last couple of weeks. But if there's one thing I know that works for me, it's that repetition. Repetition just drives it home. So if I'm not understanding something, or a lot of times I am understanding it, but I just don't accept it, once I hear it time and time again, it gets buried inside and I start doing what I'm supposed to do. I think that's how cults work, right? Anyway, the first tip to trick your brain into actually liking your workout or getting your workout done is to game it up, gamify it. Make your workout a game. We all like games. I guess we all like types of games, right? And the reason that gamifying your workouts work is because your brain loves if it's hard to predict or if the rewards are intermittent, so you don't know when you're going to be getting rewarded. And because we know that about ourselves, we know this is how brains work, we can use that to our advantage when it comes to running, when it comes to working out. So the one example that they give us is actually pretty good. So this coach says that when he's doing a group class, he will have two bags, and in one bag he'll have little pieces of paper with different exercises written on them, and in the other bag he'll have different pieces of paper with a rep count on them. So when the class participants come into class, they grab one piece of paper from one bag with their exercise, another one with their rep count, and that's what they do. They never know what they're going to have to do. One day it could be an exercise that you like, and next day it could be an exercise that you don't like, but either way you're going to do it and you're going to get stronger. And because you don't know what you're going to get, it makes it fun. It makes it a game. Okay, now this next part I want to hear from you, because I have never actually used any apps that gamify your run. So the article mentions an app called Zombies Run. Now, of course, I've heard about it. This really took off in the beginning times of the pandemic, when all of a sudden everybody wanted to run and they wanted to be motivated. But this app will track your distance, it'll track your pace, so you're going to get credit for everything you're doing. But also the app gives you missions, so you're actually working towards something. And the app will be talking to you through your headphones, and it'll be telling you to run fast because there's zombies chasing you, or direct you to build a shelter. To me, if I'm going out for a run, I'd rather be being chased by zombies to motivate me to run rather than stop and build a shelter. But maybe that's just me. If you have used an app like this, I would love to hear about it from you. Now, if you are into cycling, perhaps if you do some cross training, there's an app called Ruvi, and this connects to your smart trainer. So your smart trainer is what you would bring your outdoor bike into the house, and you will use that as a trainer, connect it to the app, and it will take you on virtual rides around the world. So if you're going up a hill, it will adjust the resistance so it's a lot harder going uphill, and then obviously going downhill, it'll make it a lot looser, give you the feeling that you're flying downhill. I think that sounds like a pretty good thing. Now, I already have a Peloton, and on the Peloton they have different rides like that, and also we've got the guided fitness classes. So if you are looking for a little guidance in your workout, Peloton or something like that might be a good option for you. Okay, the next way to trick your brain into actually liking your workout or actually going out and doing your workout is to tailor fit it specially for you. And why is that? Why do we want a bespoke training plan? And that's because our brains love it. Our brains love something that is made just for us. And get this is backed up by science. There was a recent study in which participants who thought they had a custom training plan outperformed the athletes that were following a generic training plan, like an internet training plan. The funny thing is that they were both following the same plan. Guys, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. We've got to harness the placebo effect, right? But making ourselves believe that we are following a custom training plan, we're actually following a generic training plan, probably easier said than done. So what we can do, we can hire a personal trainer. Those personal trainers, these people are trained to take information that you give them and then give you guidance on what to do. Or if you don't want to hire a personal trainer, or perhaps it's cost prohibitive, there are certainly apps. So an app that the article recommends is Stronger by the Day. And in Stronger by the Day, you put in some of your fitness stats, and then the staff that I guess runs the app, they take that information, your stats, and they give you a customized workout. So if you put in the heaviest load that you can lift, they will then design a weight workout based around that number. And look, that's probably not ideal. I have to say that a coach is going to be your best bet by far, especially if if you work with them for a while, because they're going to get to know you, they're going to know your strengths, your weaknesses, and they are going to make you dial in on those weaknesses. Probably not going to get that same level of bespokeness if you just use an app. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you if you have used an app like that. Okay, the last little bit of information about tailoring something to fit you is the psychological phenomenon that we tend to remember our experiences by how we feel at the end of them. That's why flipping the order of how you do your exercises might really work out for you. So the article suggests doing the hardest part of your workout early on. Obviously, after a good warm-up. We don't want to be hurting ourselves just because we're trying something different. But start your workout with the most intense part of the activity and then work down from there. Kind of make it easier as we go on. Start with the hard stuff when you have the most energy. And by the time you get to the end, or the fewest reps, or the lowest weight, you're going to be feeling good. It's going to seem easy, and you're going to want to hit it hard next time because you've had such a positive experience this time. And the next tip is something that we have talked about in the past. And this New York Times article calls it to work like a Pavlovian dog. And you will remember Pavlov would ring the bell and then the dogs would salivate because they knew dinner was coming. That's what I want you to do with something. Now, I don't want you salivating all over just because you get to work out, but we're talking about stacking habits. And I think a couple of weeks ago when I talked about it, I talked about brushing your teeth and doing squats. For me, my habit of waking up is closely tied by going out for a run, though I guess there is something in between, and that is having a cup of coffee. So I think my coffee would be the thing that signals that I'm getting ready to go for a run. Let's say you've got small kids and you have to drop them off at school. You could perhaps drop them off at school and then be in the gym 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, however long it takes you to get to the gym. Or if you work at a place where you have a lunch break at the same time every day, as soon as that lunch break starts, you could be in the gym 15, 20 minutes later. You could get a solid half-an-hour workout in, shower, and be back to work. Right, I know, listen, the timing's going to be a bit tight, but you can make it work. You don't have to work out for half an hour. You don't have to shower. I don't know. There are a lot of ways to get in your workout. You could also pair an activity with something that you like doing, something that you feel guilty about doing any other time, but if you're doing it when you're working out, you feel a little better. Maybe watching television is something like that. Maybe there is a show that you don't like to sit down and just watch TV, so you can get on the treadmill, you can get on the bike, and you can just pedal and watch your show. It's a great way of stacking these habits, or pairing something that you really want to do, like watching TV, with something that you know you have to do, and that will benefit you in the long term, like running or cycling or just working out. So drop a comment and let me know how you habit stack. Let's use running as the example. I want to know what you do immediately before you go for a run most days. Is it something you're even aware of? Let me know. The next way to trick your brain into having a better workout, or at least just doing a workout, maybe not a better one, but just get started, is by creating an emotional link to that workout, to that event. And this isn't really a day-to-day thing, but it's more like a long-term thing. So the article suggests signing up for a race because you're making a commitment to your future self. And by making that commitment to your future self, you are investing in your future. You know that you have a half marathon or a 10K or a 5K coming up in a number of weeks, in a matter of months, and you know that you have to put in the work in order to do the best that you can do. By signing up for an event, you're putting your money where your mouth is, and that is going to encourage you to get out and do the work necessary to achieve your goal. Look, it's very simple. Exercise is more meaningful if we have an emotional connection to it. That's why so many people raise money for charities that mean something to them. They're doing something meaningful and they're making a difference, not just to themselves, but others. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and raise a lot of money for charity, but if you are struggling, perhaps that is something that you could use. That's a tool that you've got in your toolbox that you could pull out just to give you the motivation needed to move forward. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like raising money for charity, or I guess let me know if you don't like raising money for charity. Well, I had a pretty good week of running. Well, I'm assuming I had a pretty good week of running, but I am still out of town, so I'm not going to share my Strava stats of what I did every day this week. If you are interested, please go ahead and check out my profile on Strava. I do have a link to it in the show notes below, and you'll see what I got up to and where I got up to it. I don't know if it was a good week of running, but I'm thinking it was. And of course, don't forget to let me know about your week of running. Remember, successes and setbacks. Be kind, be happy, run well. I'll see you in a couple of days.